You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
It appears that there is more and more fire and smoke enveloping the very top of the building. And as fire crews are descending on this area, it does not appear that there's any kind of an effort up there yet. Now remember, oh my God.
Oh my God.
That looks like a second plane.
I did not see a plane go in. That just exploded.
I just saw another plane coming in from the side.
You did. That was out of
yes, and that's the second explosion. You could see the plane come in just from the right-hand side of the screen. So this looks like it is some sort of a concerted effort to attack the World Trade Center that is underway in downtown New York.
Did you hear the explosion from your position?
Yes, we did. As a matter of fact, we heard it, and because I was just like standing there pretty much looking out the window, I didn't see what caused it or if there was an impact.
So you have no idea right now?
There's another one. Another plane just hit. Right. Oh, my God. Another plane has just hit. It hit another building. Flew right into the middle of it. Explosion. My God, it's right in the middle of the building.
This one into the East Tower?
Yes. Right in the middle of the building. And right now, that was definitely looked like it was on purpose.
You saw a plane?
Yes, I just saw a plane go into the building.
As you look at the picture from our chopper now arriving at the scene, Jim Friedel in Hoboken said it appeared to bank sharply and smash directly, perhaps purposefully, into, oh my goodness,
oh God,
there's another one. Oh my goodness, there's another one.
This seems to be on purpose.
Oh my goodness, now it's obvious, I think, that there's a second plane just crashed into the World Trade Center. I think we have a terrorist act of proportions that we cannot begin to imagine at this juncture.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country. Americans have known wars, but for the past 136 years, they have been wars on foreign soil, except for one Sunday in 1941. Americans have known the casualties of war, but not at the center of a great city on a peaceful morning. Americans have known surprise attacks, but never before on thousands of civilians. All of this was brought upon us in a single day, and night fell on a different world, a world where freedom itself is under attack. Americans have many questions tonight. Americans are asking, who attacked our country? The evidence we have gathered all points to a collection of loosely affiliated terrorist organizations known as Al-Qaeda. They are some of the murderers indicted for bombing American embassies in Tanzania and Kenya and responsible for bombing the USS Cole. Al-Qaeda is to terror what the mafia is to crime, but its goal is not making money. Its goal is remaking the world and imposing its radical beliefs on people everywhere. The terrorists practice a fringe form of Islamic extremism that has been rejected by Muslim scholars and the vast majority of Muslim clerics, a fringe movement that perverts the peaceful teaching of Islam. The terrorist directive commands them to kill Christians and Jews, to kill all Americans, and make no distinctions among military and civilians, including women and children. This group and its leader, a person named Osama bin Laden, are linked to many other organizations in different countries, including the Egyptian Islamic Jihad and the Islamic movement of Uzbekistan. There are thousands of these terrorists in more than 60 countries. They are recruited from their own nations and neighborhoods and brought to camps in places like Afghanistan, where they are trained in the tactics of terror. They are sent back to their homes or sent to hide in countries around the world to plot evil and destruction. The leadership of al-Qaeda has great influence in Afghanistan and supports the Taliban regime in controlling most of that country. In Afghanistan, we see al-Qaeda's vision for the world. Afghanistan's people have been brutalized. Many are starving, and many have fled. Women are not allowed to attend school. You can be jailed for owning a television. Religion can be practiced only as their leaders dictate. A man can be jailed in Afghanistan if his beard is not long enough. The United States respects the people of Afghanistan. After all, we are currently its largest source of humanitarian aid, but we condemn the Taliban regime. It is not only repressing its own people, it is threatening people everywhere by sponsoring and sheltering and supplying terrorists. By aiding and abetting murder, the Taliban regime is committing murder. And tonight, the United States of America makes the following demands on the Taliban. Deliver to United States authorities all the leaders of al-Qaeda who hide in your land. Release all foreign nationals, including American citizens you have unjustly imprisoned. Protect foreign journalists, diplomats, and aid workers in your country. Close immediately and permanently every terrorist training camp in Afghanistan and hand over every terrorist and every person in their support structure to appropriate authorities. Give the United States full access to terrorist training camps so we can make sure they are no longer operating. These demands are not open to negotiation or discussion. The Taliban must act and act immediately. They will hand over the terrorists, or they will share in their fate. I also want to speak tonight directly to Muslims throughout the world. We respect your faith. It's practiced freely by many millions of Americans and by millions more in countries that America counts as friends. Its teachings are good and peaceful. And those who commit evil in the name of Allah blaspheme the name of Allah. The terrorists are traitors to their own faith, trying in effect to hijack Islam itself. The enemy of America is not our many Muslim friends. It is not our many Arab friends. Our enemy is a radical network of terrorists and every government that supports them. Our war on terror begins with al-Qaeda, but it does not end there. It will not end until every terrorist group of global reach has been found, stopped, and defeated.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, a strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who, disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good evening, everyone. This is Walter on iWalter. Yes, I did do a long monologue tonight, but I figured I needed to do this after I figured out from this past weekend that obviously people did have forgotten about 9/11. On Friday's show, Rush actually made that, obvious on his, talking about it. And I seen it firsthand, just judging by the way people reacted this weekend. Nobody seemed to care that thousands of people lost their lives, thanks to these people in the Middle East who just hate almost everyone, not just Americans. They just hate people in general. So I needed to make, I figured, I thought to myself, I didn't give this address this properly, so I'm going to do it now. I'm probably going to have to do this once a year, I think, if I continue to do this show. But what really got me thinking about this was there was this article on IJReview.com, and it's titled, "Parents Had No Idea What Happened to Their Son on 9/11. Then They Read the Words Red Bandana." Now, this story is very emotional. I'm going to try to get through it. I may have to stop because it just kind of was heartbreaking to read this story about this man who gave his life to save many others. He was actually in the Trade Center at the time that the attack had happened back 14 years ago. That's the reason why also I needed to I felt, out of respect that I needed to play some type of news segment because people really did forget about this already and how dangerous this is. And I also had to play what Bush had, his speech. It was a 7-minute speech, I realized that, but I didn't want to just cut it off at one point. I wanted people, whoever listens to me, to listen to what Bush did. He was a great man, trust me. And I remember back in 2001, I could not find a job, getting out, when I was done with college, back in 2001 is when I finished college. It was the same year that, we got attacked. And it was real difficult. And the only option I had at that point, and I knew that I wasn't a perfect candidate, so I tried to make sure I did not. I was actually considering going into the Navy to have some type of job, but, I wanted a job that would not involve me getting involved in the war. And the main reason was I just mentally I'm not capable of doing that type of job. But I could do, there's considered civilian jobs. But that's not the point. This was down at the Willow Grove Naval Base, which is closed down thanks to Obama. President Obama, but was open when President, I wanted to say Reagan, President Bush was in office at this time. So this shows you how much has changed and how much disrespect has been, given to, us as, Americans and just people in general. Because President Obama has no respect for anyone. I don't even know if he has respect. Well, he does have respect for himself. So anyway, I wanted to go in for a civilian job. They actually enlisted me for being a recruit, which at that point I knew I'm not going to do anybody any favor. I'm not going to be a strong candidate for the Navy. I wanted to go in for other reasons. Yeah, I would like to help out, but I'm not the person you want in going through boot camp, trust me. But anyway, again, that is not the point. The point was that there was people there, and there were people from other, countries that were, became American citizens. And they said, we feel like we need to, this is no joke, we want to give something back to this country, basically because of what happened with the World Trade Centers. Everybody had lost somebody in some way, and they, gave their respect. I would have actually enlisted and went to war, but honestly, people who know me knows that's not, I would not be the best person for that job. I'm better on what I'm doing now. Anyway, this article is very emotional. I would recommend everybody check it out on ijreview.com. And I'm going to read it now. And I was going to put those segments in later, but I think, what? If you made it this far and you listened to both of them, then, you're obviously going to want to hear what I have to say now. I might talk about a couple other things because I had other things on my plate, but this just really got to me because I didn't read it until now to myself, this article. And now after I read it, it was like I need to really go back and really do a show on 9/11, at least right now. So here we go. When Wells Remy Crowther was a young boy, his father Jefferson instructed him to carry a red bandana. The white handkerchief Jefferson gave him was just for show. He was to blow his nose on the red bandana instead. At the age of 6, at that time, it quickly became Wells's signature accessory. He loved the red bandana, and he always had it with him, Jefferson recalled. He went on to play division in lacrosse at Boston College, always wearing his red bandana under his helmet, and then settled a job at the Equities Trade in New York, trader in New York City, basically New York trade centers. Though he was happy with his job on Wall Street, he had a different ambition to become a New York City firefighter. On the morning of September 11th, 2001, Wells was at his desk on the 104th floor of the South Tower in the World Trade Center when the first plane had hit. He immediately called his mother to let her know he was okay. "Mom, it's Wells. I want you to know that I'm okay." Those were the last words that Allison Crowther heard from her son speak. It was the last time she was aware of her son's whereabouts. When the second plane crashed into the South Tower, both Jefferson and Allison knew the worst had happened. Their son was gone. What they didn't know at the time was that their son heroically saved lives of at least dozens of strangers. News on the heroic actions didn't come to light until several months later when the New York Times released an article featuring the count of several survivors. A piece of this article read, "A mysterious man appeared at the one point, his mouth and nose covered with a red handkerchief. He was looking for a fire extinguisher. As Judy Wells recalls, he pointed to the stairs and then made an announcement that saved lives. Anyone who can walk can get up and walk now. Anyone who can perhaps help others, find someone who needs help, and then head down." A few minutes behind, this group was Ling Young, who also survived the impact in the sky lobby. She too said she had was steered by the man in the red bandana. Hearing him call out, "This is the way to the stairs." As soon as they read the words "red handkerchief," Allison and Jefferson knew it was their son. According to the survivors' recount, Wells risked his life more than once. Alrighty, folks, I'm sorry. I'm going to read that again. I just had to pause for a minute. Sorry about that. According to the survivor recount, Wells risked his life for more than once to help others to safety. One of those survivors was Judy Ryan. If he hadn't come back, I wouldn't have made it, she said. People can live. Alrighty, I'm going to try this again. People can live. I'm sorry, I lost my spot too. This is really hard, I told you. One of the survivors was Judy Ryan. If he hadn't come back, I wouldn't have made it, she told CNN. People can live 100 years and not have the compassion, the wherewithal to do what he had done. What he did. Wells, as well as one of many who lost their lives on that horrific day. He, like many, will be remembered for his courage, his perseverance, and his selflessness. Somebody quote, that was a quote, by the way. Another one is on Wells. To know the Wells took off the equality trader hat to put on the table and pick up his helmet, firefighter helmet, and went to work for me. That was incredible. Incredible thing to do, said Jefferson. And every time they see the red bandana, the Crothers can recall with pride the heroic actions of their incredible son. So, I can't specify enough. All I ever hear about any time, even on stuff I say, is people correcting me. Not in general, people correct me and make a big deal out of the stuff that I do or that I'm not being politically correct. And yet, that is not what life's about. You know, people seem to, honestly, they really do seem to forget. What happened back on 9/11 is something that everybody should never, ever forget. And I remember Rush actually saying when Pearl Harbor happened, it was a very long time before people even forgot that. And that was really crucial. But it seems with 9/11, people had forgotten almost immediately, it seemed like. So, that's why I feel that, I didn't give it the right homage, I guess, as Matt had corrected me. But yeah, it is really serious that people, it's really sad, actually, that people don't understand how important this stuff really is. Anyway, I knew this was going to be hard for me to read, but again, people just really don't seem to care. Their only concern is, honestly, is themselves. I saw this whole entire weekend, and this is not funny. This is the truth. But my mother actually said, now I'm always told how I get too emotional about things when things are said or insinuated on me. But my mother said, and this is no joke, she was over in the movie theater on, I guess it was Friday night of this week. And my parents went to see that movie with, by M. Night Shyamalan. And she saw some woman there that used to work at this place called Genuardi's, which no longer, Genardi's, I apologize. My parents could say Genuardi's. Not important. And all she did was, my mother said, all I did was say hello to this woman who used to work there. And the woman just, they were already sitting down in the movie theater. And she said that the woman got up and moved to another seat. She didn't acknowledge my mother. She just got up and moved. And apparently this is not the first time this lady's been that rude. So this is the same country that we lost thousands of lives. And yet you got that kind of respect from other people. So, you know, and it's always just me. It's not anybody else. And my parents, my dad was complaining once again today about some young guy, very young guy in a Lamborghini blasting up and down the street. I have people almost knock me over on a daily basis, you know, or they think that I'm trying to attack them in some way. Like they walk the other way, or, you know, I get cornered by people in some way or another. Now, my friend Matt, well, you're going to probably question me on all this stuff. And again, you'll probably think I'm just making this stuff up or just exaggerating what actually is happening. But when it's not me and it's other people, then there is a problem. And, I mean, you can just look at the paper any single day and you will see this stuff go on. It's just, you know, again, my main point is this is 14 years. It's not that long after the fact that we lost thousands of lives. And I know right after it happened, though, everybody was saying how, oh, we're never going to forget. Oh, this is important. But yet we have given our enemies the right to make nuclear arms. We have allowed these terrorists into our country. Other countries that were our allies have also buckled, basically let these terrorists into their countries. And, you know, the ones that would be the one, you know, basically, yes, our allies. And nobody seems to be taking this seriously. What do? We reward them with the material they need to make weapons. We reward them by making them more mosques that they can pray to their beliefs. And, you know, we also now in the last 7 years, have also said that, oh, yeah, anything that deals with the Christian religion should be not acknowledged because that's disrespectful to people who are Muslims. So, yeah, we've gone through all this nonsense. So what have we learned? As far as I can see, we have learned nothing. If we truly did learn something from what happened on 9/11, things would definitely look different. And I hate to say it, everybody tries to pinpoint that, oh, well, this all had arrived from, you know, Bush and Cheney trying to make money on the oil business, which is nonsense. Because I hate to say it, the price of gasoline and oil has not changed that much. And anytime it's, you know, you hear about these price drops, I haven't really seen them around when I get gas. But the gas is not much different than what it was before. And they're blaming Bush and Cheney on that. People seem to avoid the real reason for these terrorists attacking us. It had nothing to do with Bush or Cheney trying to cash in on or try to make profit off of oil. That was just something that somebody who has no clue what they're talking about came up with. And again, it's really sad. And then when I see just people just being so disrespectful to others, and I see also, very, very a spoiled society that, you got like, it's a reverse. It literally is like a nightmare come true every time I walk out my front door to do something, to get something to eat, to go shopping, to do whatever, to go to work, because all I deal with every single day are a bunch of people who all they really care about are themselves. And I mean, you see children driving, $100,000 cars all the time. Parents just give them whatever these kids want, allow them to act or do or whatever they want to do. There is no discipline. There is no respect. There is definitely no respect for Christianity anymore, because if you're a Christian and somebody who follows Christianity, you are somebody who is disgraceful to the rest of our nation now. And yet we cater to these people who killed thousands of people. We respect them. We hold them on a pedestal. And it was funny that, well, this is not funny. Nothing I'm mentioning is funny. But it was mentioned to me, by the way, that now at our movie theater, and I didn't think about it, it was probably because of this weekend too, that they were doing bag checks at the movie theater. And why were they doing that, though? Well, because they were probably worrying about terrorist attacks in these movie theaters, because nobody knows when they're going to attack again. And most likely, they would probably do it around our anniversary. So, yeah. But despite that, do you know what a lot of these kids came in with? Like they really needed those? My parents said that a lot of people came in, I guess young girls and stuff, with backpacks on their back. So what is that telling? Like, so we had a police officer at our movie theater. Our main concern was, do they have something in that backpack that's not supposed to be there? We don't know. But it's gotten to this point that some people take it seriously. Other people just really have no clue on what happened 14 years ago, and that's obvious. They take it with a grain of salt. You got parents who, the money, I've been saying that out loud all day, thinking out loudly, but every time I went past and I seen some homeless-looking poor person driving a $50,000, $100,000 car, right away where they're getting it. They're leasing the car. They're probably, most likely, it's money coming out of our taxes. And you know what? The people who work, like myself, my friend Matt, my friend Todd, and a plethora of other, well, I can't even say that many anymore, but the majority of the people who are still trying to maintain, keep their head above water, we're paying for like over half the nation just to be entertained and sit around and do whatever they want. They get free food stamps. They get a car, a cell phone, and not just a cheap one, but they get these iPhones, the brand new ones. There's a new one coming out in a couple months, and I guarantee you that every person that's on welfare is going to be guaranteed somehow or another to be able to afford one of those. So how can they afford them? And I'm living like, or the people that are working are just making it by, theoretically, by the skin of their teeth. It was never that way. If you didn't work, you did not get rewarded for not working. Now, though, you get rewarded for just not working. Like, oh, you don't want to work? Okay, we're pay for everything for you. And if you want to have children out of wedlock or, you get pregnant for all the wrong reasons just because you felt like getting pregnant, don't worry. The people that are working, we're going to be raising their taxes again anyway. So, theoretically, again, I might be grossing a week. Let's see. I will figure it out real quick because I got this oversized calculator on my... Oops. Actually, it might be actually not a bad idea with my blindness. Yeah, I can't get it off now. Yeah, let's see if I can open it up. Yeah, it's still big. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, I opened up my calculator, and now it's like a supersized thing. Okay, I'm going to go by what I make an hour times 40. Okay, my gross a week is $1,300 exactly. Out of that $1,300, now you can say, oh, well, you're paying a lot of loans and stuff. Well, I take that out of there too. I bring home about $500-600 a week. So yes, I put a small percentage in my 401k, a small percentage on paying back loans and debts that I accumulated, but almost half of what I make, almost half of it goes towards, basically paying for other people's expenses so they can live high on the hog. And why am I saying that? Because I'm not the only one. So, and people are realizing that. A lot of people now, they're like, why should I even work? Because, and that's another reason why people are just getting fed up of like even looking for a job because, if you work any job, you're most likely not only going to be getting, you're going to be getting paid. Just say you have a normal job and you average out $150 a week. You're probably bringing home about 70 of that because, and out of that 70, you're going to be paying for Obamacare because you have to have insurance or otherwise you're going to get fined. So this is very discouraging. And where does this money go to? For the people who really don't want to maintain a job. They don't want to work at all. They want to drive the fancy car. They want to have the top-notch phone. They want to have the kids, but they don't want any responsibility. And 99% of them that are not working, out of that 99% of them, they really don't care that they're basically hurting other people by their own selfishness and their own greed. And once again, I got to go back. This is 14 years after 9/11. So what have we learned, folks? I don't think we have learned at all. And that's really obvious. That is extremely obvious that, yes, we haven't learned a damn thing. So, to me, that alone just is really, it's hurtful. Yeah, I don't know what else to say, but, and people just don't learn. I mean, yeah, I'm going to have to lighten this up tonight a little bit, but I just wanted to make sure people at least knew how I feel, I guess, and obviously the truth. Because everybody's under this delusion that Bush was a horrible person and Reagan was a horrible person and Clinton and who else? Obama. And the Democrats, they're not your enemies. It's the Republicans that are your enemies, not Democrats, but the Republicans. So it's just and it's strange because the ones who keep on voting the Democrats in are the ones who honestly are the ones who are actually just really hurting themselves. Because for some reason, they don't understand the people you vote back in, these people who vote Democrat, the Democrats are the ones that are taking, your freedom away. They are taking everything away from you, but yet you are continually voting for them over and over again, and convinced that it's the Republicans. Well, guess who put you in slavery back 200 years ago? It was the Democrats. Guess who basically is against Jewish people and basically, in so many words or less, I'm exaggerating slightly, black people actually holding down jobs. Well, I hate to tell you, once again, yes, it's the Democrats. So, but you continue to vote for them. You think that that's the right choice, but obviously it is not. For everything the Democrats stand for, it's completely opposite of what you think they stand for. If you really wanted to have change for the better, you would not be voting Democrat every time. You would be most likely voting Republican. I mean, look at our economy. Look at our country when we had Reagan in office, and look at the unemployment rate, and look how it was when we had Carter in office, and compare those. Look at how things were when we had Clinton in office, and look at it now, but then look at it when we had Bush in office. So don't go by what they tell you or this propaganda that you read probably from CNN, but look at what really happened. Maybe read Drudge Reports, Fox News, Rush Limbaugh. I'm trying to think who else. But there's plenty of other. And hey, if you're saying, oh, these people are somewhat racist, well, then check out and listen to what Alan West has to say, because that's a black man who is very conservative, and he's been fed up with what's going on for a very long time. So, unfortunately, we have very naive and very stupid people in this country, obviously, because if we did not, we wouldn't have this mess we have now. And, when this happened in 2001 with Bush in office, that speech he made, I believe, was pretty much the next day. It was within at least, if I remember looking at that caption of that video, it was at least 48 hours later that he made sure this situation is going to be taken care of and this is never going to happen again. Unfortunately, now I don't feel that safe as I did when Bush was in office. It has no the reason I feel that way is not because, we have a black man in office. That has nothing to do with it. It has nothing to do with it. It's because we have an office filled with people who only are self-serving and don't care about the safety or well-being of anyone except themselves. And that's and their family, but nobody else. But they're the ones that are representing our country. So that being said, yes, I don't know, and I pray by next year. I truly do. I pray to God that by next year people will realize or come to realization of their mistakes and not make the same mistake again. Because unfortunately, whoever gets into office at this point, the damage that the Democratic Party has done in the Obama administration is so bad. The wounds are so large at this point. Whoever gets in, they really will have their work cut out for them. And it's going to be very difficult, but I'm hoping it's going to be Republican, at least in chief of command, because they're going to actually have to start correcting the mistakes that Obama has made, put people back to work, and try to seal these borders and actually start to building up the military that Obama has destroyed by cutting it back so much. So, anyway, I felt like I needed to say this. But unfortunately, like I said, I have very little hope for our country anymore anyway, considering how people just continue every, 8 years or every 4 years, they just make the same mistake over and over again. And it just shows to me that history is just going to continue to repeat itself until there is no longer any human history left to write about, because we won't even have a place to live. Nobody's, we're going to basically, the world will still be here after we're long gone. After human beings have destroyed themselves, the earth will just heal its wounds and just go on like as though nothing happened. But it will be without us at this point. If we go in the same direction we continue to go. So anyway, I had some article. It has nothing to do with what I just started with. I have to start with something lighter, and I'm going to end the night early. But again, this is, and I wanted to acknowledge before I forget, so I apologize. I did get over the weekend on a much, much lighter note. I have to thank, and I said I would definitely have him on at some point. My friend Ryan, he had put his film that he made, Agony, out on VHS, and it did come yesterday. I haven't watched yet because I do have a VHS player. I got it for certain movies, and it looks very impressive. Obviously, he put a lot of effort into it, and I said, yeah, I definitely want to. I wanted to, give you some time on the show to do an interview. So in the future, I will have, some guests on. I did years ago with my friend Todd, but I'm intending to have other guests as well. I'm seeing stories as they come up, but I really don't want to go into them all tonight because I'm not going to take it away. But yeah, Ryan, thank you for the VHS version of your movie. You obviously put a lot of work into that. And I told him, I said I would give you a plug on that, which I am now. It was called Agony. You can find Ryan Logston on my Facebook page if you're interested. And he's also affiliated with Beneath the Underground, I believe. At least he's friends with the people on that page. I'm on there too, but yeah. So, I'm just trying to, I got something else in the mail too. Oh, yes, I got the second installment of Star Wars, the unedited version of Empire Strikes Back. So that was really cool. I think I'm kind of weaning myself down a little bit too quickly from what I mentioned. But, the thing was, you come in and, you see this stuff going on. That people just don't care and stuff like that. It's heartbreaking. It really is. It's just, I just don't understand it whatsoever. There was the other story I was going to mention. I mean, honestly, I can't even get started reading this. After what I discussed tonight, quite honestly, I really can't think of anything else. It's really hard to focus on just even nonsense stories. But there was one. Yeah, this is complete nonsense. I mean, honestly, folks, this is pretty much, what's the highlight of our life, though? Our lives. Or these stupid stories that I read. I mean, yes, I'm reading them. I realize that. But to most people in real life, there is nothing more important than these stories. And it's not from me reading them. Trust me, I know that. But in real life, this is what people, their focal point is on this this crap that I find. And somebody actually asked me, are these stories for real? And it was like, yeah, unfortunately, these are stories I really do find, where these people are mutilating animals, severely mutilated animals or killing other people. these aren't made up stories. These are real live stories that I would just love to think that I'm making them up. Unfortunately, they're not. So, yeah, you know what? I got to find this story that it was really okay. Yeah, I'll let it go at this. I apologize for anyone. They're probably saying, okay, you went from something really serious to nonsense that I'm ready to read. And this was on jellyshare.com. I had it up. I was going to read it yesterday. I was going to give Ryan his acknowledgement for his movie because he did give me the VHS version and some other stuff, and just the stuff I had to deal with today. But that story that I just read in the beginning of me talking tonight is what got this whole thing started. That, you know what, we really need to refocus on the importance of 9/11. So anyway, please let me just bear with me on this story. It was 25 celebrities who have insurance on their body parts for millions. So yeah, this is really true too. This is not a made-up story. Trust me. Insurance is important, but for celebrities, insuring their body parts is crucial. Consider that they make or breaks or breaks their careers. Many of them have term life or other types of insurance on their legs, butts. I always get picked on about the butts, and the gluteus maximus, and even their breast. Some even have insurance on odd body parts such as their tongue. Can you imagine having this type of insurance premium on these types of items? You'll find out when you read below. 25 shocking stories. Now, I'm not going to read each one of these because, honestly, this is what our world is like. Do people realize this is what real vanity is all about? And it's Jennifer Lopez's number one. She's got actually $300 million. And that money's being, it's on her glute, her ass, basically. Mariah Carey is the next one. She's got $1 billion insurance on her body. Holly Madison's got a $1 million insurance premium on her body. Dolly Parton had insurance on her breast for $600,000. She recently took insurance policy for her chest for $3.8 million now. Miley Cyrus is in the mix. She's got $1 million since she does it. Basically, I think Miley Cyrus got insurance on her tongue, a $1 million insurance plan on her tongue. So, okay, now who's the one who's obsessed and who's the one who is purely vain? Because apparently it seems like to be me, because vanity also means that you think that people are always focused on you. Well, when you take out insurance plans like that, that's crazy. Taylor Swift has one for her legs for $40 million. She has insurance on her legs. Rina, is it Rina? I know who it is, but $1 million insurance policy on her legs. Actress Jennifer Love Hewitt has a $5 million range for her breasts. She's a 36C. She insured her breast for $5 million. It says that we would like to insure your boobs for $2.5 million. Somebody was making a joke out of it. Heidi Klum, $2 million on her body. And surprisingly, Madonna's not that high, but yeah. Her breast net worth is $2 million. She's got an insurance plan on her breast for $2 million. And And Kelly Montag, she's the one I think Kaylee, she had cancer, I think. Kaylee Montag, she's actually, she's an Australian. She's got $5 million policy on her butt. She's got a $5 million insurance plan on her ass. Yeah. So, and believe it or not, this is kind of hard to believe, but in the mix is Daniel Craig. They said British actor Daniel Craig took out a $5 million, which is 9.5 million pound insurance policy. That's 9.5 million in American money. Insurance policy to protect him against losses on his body. The actor who was admitting about doing his own stunts in 2006. That's almost understandable. He said it's because he also does his own stunts. It's not for other reasons, just because of vanity reasons. The deductible, he has assumed the deductible would be well over $1 million. Tina Turner actually has one on her legs, $3 million. Some guy named David Beckham. I don't know who he is. He has £1 million insurance on his body, which is around 195 million. Because pounds, it's like British money. So, Yes, and here's another one. That's the second man, though, who had insurance against his body. Believe it or not, this one's almost like, to me, it's kind of a joke, but David Lee Roth does. It says David Lee Roth, a popular rock musician, took out an insurance policy with Lloyd's of London, a popular insurance corporation, on his genitalia. No, it's no joke. Yes, he's got them out on his genitals. Which also said was named Little Elvis. He also took out an insurance policy on his sperm. Roth's insurance policy isn't designed to protect him from sickness or catastrophic injury. With this policy, Roth will receive, it looks like $100,000 in the event of unwanted pregnancy. This way, if he makes a baby on accident, he has $1 million. Okay, so that was $1 million. He'll receive $1 million. $1 million dollars that he can rely on to cover the child support. A little goofy, but yeah. This other guy, he's a professional football player. He has one too. I've seen him before. He plays on the Steelers. His name's Troy Palama. He has $1 million policy on himself. Now, I like her. She was the girl who played Ugly Betty. I'm just kind of surprised. That kind of makes me take her off the pedestal of I've had her on for many years. The television actress known for her role in Ugly Betty's America Ferrera, she signed up to become the face of Aquafresh. When she did that, the toothpaste company, she took out some life insurance on her teeth. Basically, it's a $10 million cover for her teeth. That's a little ridiculous, to say the least. And yeah, my friend Todd liked this. Gene Simmons is in the mix, which would not be a shock. The rock and roll frontman for band Kiss decided to insure his tongue. How much? $1 million. That life insurance money for a regular person, the probability of medical issues with a tongue is quite low. Well, so did Miley Cyrus. She took it out in her tongue, but she's not as big as, Kiss was. Yeah, it is actually Gene Simmons. I didn't realize it was Gene Simmons with the tongue deal going on, so that's news to me. I'm honest about that. Some guy named Michael Flatley, I don't even know who he is again, King of Dance, broke his own record of tap speeding in February 1998, so he took out insurance himself. It says he has the highest insurance policy placed on a dancer's legs. So I don't want to screw that up. It looks like, is it 40 million or is it 40,000? No, actually it is. I think, yeah, it's $40 million. He took out a $40 million insurance policy on his legs because that's what he's basically, his money is being made is on his dancing. Now, this guy named Merv Hughes, I don't know him whatsoever. And he's got some really weird mustache. The right arm fast bowler's brisk handlebar style mo was insured roughly. So he got insurance out, this is no joke, on his mustache. Now that one is $370,000 during his cricketing days as a member of the Australian national team. So this guy is a cricket player. He got insurance on his mustache for $370,000. Well, if you shave it off, does that mean insurance is no longer being cut? I don't know. Jamie Lee Curtis, and there's a really hot picture of her. She was hot back in the day. Yeah, I really went off on from what I was talking about, I know. Yeah, back when she was younger, Jamie Lee Curtis was like really, really hot. She was in some movie with, was it Arnold Schwarzenegger or something? Some movie she played in a spy movie, and she looked incredible. The actress Beauty signed up for Legs Pantyhose Company with one of their advertising campaigns. They put down the insurance on the actress Legs with $2.8 million insurance premium. So, yeah, if you see the picture, I remember that too, when she was really young and really hot, Jamie Lee Curtis. But yeah, she got insurance on her legs. Keith Richards, from Rolling Stones, he had insurance policy taken out on his hands for $2 million, because he's known for his guitar playing, obviously. Betty Davis, actress Betty Davis, insured her waist for back in the day in the 1940s for $28,000. Yeah, I didn't know that. I have to save that picture. Use it for something. Julia Roberts, blockbuster actress Julia Roberts, known for her toothy grin, insured her lips and smile for $30 million. Yes, $30 million. Now get this, the very last one. And by the way, that's in case she gets cancer of the lips or something, or a chipped tooth. That's what it says. Tom Jones is the very last one. That's pretty funny. In a day and age, a lot of appearance-conscious men are looking to wax or trim their wayward hair, basically their chest hair. But the pop singer Tom Jones must think a little fuzz is critical to his stardom as a sex symbol. In 2008, the New York Daily News and several other media outlets reported that Jones had his chest hair insured. Can you believe that he had his chest hair insured for $7 million? You know what that would mean for my dad then? He would have to get an insurance policy for probably $100 million. You read that correctly. Chest hairs for $7 million. So yeah, Tom Jones got a insurance policy out for his chest hair. So yeah, I really did a 180 today on my show, but I wasn't really expecting to do one, but in some ways. Other ways, yeah, I did have the thought of doing a show, but I think the thing that really just made me decide to do so was after reading that story on that poor guy that, he was definitely a true hero, the one known as the Red Bandana. So anyway, folks, yeah, my show may have not ended on a high note, but yeah, I mean, I just pray that people, in the near future, I just hope that people don't forget. So, or, start to remember, I should say, because they already did forget. I want people to remember again what had happened 14 years ago. Everyone, I am signing off. Have a good end of the weekend.